Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 yeah. Banana kala. Na 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 na. Anina wahi. Anina sawa. Oh yeah. Anina iko tori. Na sawa. Anina iko tori. Bele dwahid. Anina iko tori. Anena. Anina iko tori. Oh yeah. Kanita miniambio. Kanita mintori. Weleta minjuba. Yeah. Anena iko tori. Keresia sama gesi manena. Yeah. We strong, we stand together. Yeah. Kanina gulu wahi. Iko tori ya birapa. Ya birwa pijama. Asan belet na birapa. So give us pen, don't give us guns. Oh yeah. Give us ipanabule. Anina iko tori. Nasawa. Anina iko tori. Beled wahid. Anina iko tori. Anena. Anina iko tori. Oh yeah. Kanita zande. Kanita mai. Au kukuye. Anina iko tori. Kelene na hivo nefusina. Kebili ya kede maferiganina. Salam wa sahafa. Behaja derino. Hasan bele na piraba. Arif mapisaido. So give us pen, don't give us guns. Give us ipanabule. Anina iko tori. Nasawa. Anina iko tori. Beled wahid. Anina iko tori. Anena. Anina iko tori.
Nina kulu sawa jama. So my pale fanangala. I love my people and I'm the voice.
Acholi ya buka ya baka. Ndinga balanda bari. Kakuwa kiliko kuku. Lango lugoya. Acholi kuposa mundo. Nyambara morobe madi. Mundare. Nyambara. Otumo pari makotudo. Lubara bunga ya lobe.
Kuposa mundo.
Nare.
Anina kulu nasi sawa. Mavi hata bigezi manena. Siasa mabigezi manena. Anina wahi.
Good afternoon, guys. It's been a while since I've been away. First of all, I want to say greetings to all our beloved great Equatorians and friends. Those friends who are non-Equatorians, also wanted to say, and also the opponents who don't like us, but we are alright with it. So I just want to say greetings from Equatorial Civilization Council in Diaspora. To all our fellow Equatorian revolutionary brothers and sisters, I wanted to salute you in the name of justice, accountability, and equal rights. Again, I want to salute you in the name of Equatorian nationalism. I salute you in the name of Equatorian unity, the unity for our people struggle, and I salute you in the name of hope, future for our people, and the love for one another, and the bond we share with one another through our ancestral land. And of course, my fellow Equatorian brothers and sisters, I want to say welcome, and all those who are non-Equatorians also, and friends. To start with, just wanted to also give wishing and greetings to all women around the world. Happy International Women's Day. You know, it's a great moment where all these women achievement in the world after all the struggles and all the hardship. Women always proven to be stronger by day, and we just want to give them a salute and greetings to all of them. I know today is March 8th, where we commemorate this day for their achievement, and also for them being our partners and our mothers, our sisters, and also our inspiration. So for this reason, we want to acknowledge them. And as you know, unfortunately, in our homeland, women still continue to suffer. Our homeland still look like, Stone Age, with the chaos, the murder, the rape, the abuse of women still continues. And this is shameful for us as Equatorian men and as Africans in general to be, able not to defend your woman, not to protect her, not to give her, the ability to show her potential. Because woman is something God created for us to the way that she can be our support. So I can't even say much at this moment, but I wanted to put two documentaries in a minute, just to. It's a short documentary that shows how our black women have been a strong uh, character, and she had achieved a lot. So at the time that I'm here, I'm just gonna put this video, and then later I'll talk. So thank you for joining. For those who joined, talk to you later, guys. Bye.
Welcome to the untold stories of Black women in the women's suffrage movement. My name is Katie Hall, and I want you to join me as we explore women such as Susan B. Anthony and the role that she played in the suffrage movement, as well as women like Ida B. Wells and Anna Julia Cooper. Ida B. Wells was an African-American investigative journalist, educator, and an early leader in the civil rights movement. She was one of the founders of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. She arguably became the most famous Black woman in America during a life that was centered on combating prejudice and violence. She also fought for equality for African Americans, especially women.
Ida B. Wells, she sort of like embodies everything that the suffrage movement was about, everything that rights for women and specifically about Black women were about. I mean, this is a woman who came from adversity. She lost her parents at a young age. She helped raise her siblings, but she was able to get herself educated and to make a big impact on the rights for not just Black women, but women in general, and for Black people in general.
Wells was born into slavery in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and freed by the Emancipation Proclamation during the American Civil War. In 1870, African American men were granted the right to vote with the ratification of the 15th Amendment. However, poll taxes, literacy tests, fear, intimidation, and later Jim Crow laws were used in former slaveholding states to keep them from exercising their right to vote. At the age of 16, Ida lost both of her parents and her infant brother in 1878 due to the yellow fever epidemic. Wells moved with some of the siblings to Memphis, Tennessee, where she found better pay as a teacher. Soon she co-owned and wrote for the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight newspaper. In the 1890s, Wells documented lynching in the United States through her indictment called Southern Horror's Lynch Laws in all of its phases. Investigating frequent claims of whites that lynchings were reserved for Black criminals only, Wells exposed lynching as a barbaric practice of whites in the South used to intimidate and oppress African Americans who created economic and political competition. In a subsequent threat of loss of power for whites, a white mob destroyed her newspaper office and presses, as her investigative reporting was carried nationally in Black-owned newspapers. After being forced to leave Memphis because of the 1892 expose she wrote about a lynching, Ida B. Wells starts the Afro Suffrage Club in Chicago, one of the first and most influential African American suffrage groups in Illinois. The group immediately sets out to mobilize and register Black men and women voters. In 1880s, Black reformers began organizing their own groups. In 1896, they founded the National Association of Colored Women, which became the largest federation of local Black women's clubs. Their motto was "Lifting as we climb."
22 women that did something a long time ago that were college students at the time are founders of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, of which I am a member, a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Those 22 women were college students, young women at the time, who saw the importance of the right to vote. So their first act of public service when they became an organization was marching in the Women's Suffrage March. Yes, they had the march in the back, but they were there, they were present, they were college students. And that took extreme bravery and extreme forethought, and for them to be, in their teens and 20s and leading in that way and leading the way for hundreds of thousands of women that are a part of the sorority now puts them on the top of my list as my heroes.
Stanton and fellow abolitionist Susan B. Anthony are introduced and quickly began collaborating on the women's suffrage movement. Their life work included fighting for both to end slavery and property ownership of women. Susan B. Anthony has become a controversial figure in recent years, as she is quoted saying that women deserve the vote more than black men. Stanton, too, has been criticized for her views on extending voting rights to African Americans. She echoed Anthony's resentment that black men were allowed to vote before women. The first Women's Rights Convention is held in Seneca Falls, New York, organized by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott, who began drawing up parallels between the condition of the enslaved population and their own condition as prisoners within a patriarchal society. Women from all over the United States and abroad traveled to Washington, D.C. to participate in the march. Paul, working with Mary Church Terrell, allowed African American women to participate, but they had to march in the back of the parade. Prominent leaders like Ida B. Wells didn't agree with this decision. While she started in the back with the rest of the black women, she ran to the front once the parade began to join the women in her state's delegation. Wells was outspoken regarding her beliefs as a black female activist and faced regular public disapproval, including that of leaders with diverging viewpoints from both the civil rights movement and the women's suffrage movement. Establishing several notable women's organizations, Wells was a skilled and persuasive speaker who traveled nationally and internationally on lecture tours. Anna Julia Cooper was born a slave August 10, 1858 in North Carolina. She graduated from Oberlin College in 1884. In 1902, she was named the principal at M Street High School, and she was an educator there through 1930. At the age of 67, she received her PhD in 1925.
So I think that we have come a long ways. If you look, you will see black women in all professions doing all kinds of things. They're working as CEOs, they're partners, they're surgeons. So we are doing a lot of things. We've come a long way. However, we still face many of the same issues that we faced. Maybe not so much in 1920, but we still face issues that hold us back. We still have not broken all the way through the glass ceiling. We still are striving to do that.
Thank you for joining us as we explore the untold stories of black women during the women's suffrage movement. My hopes as the producer of this film is that you challenge yourself to dig back into the history of the women's suffrage movement, both the told stories and the untold stories. And collectively as women, we create the future that we want for our daughters and our granddaughters. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Katie Haw.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching this. Just second one is about South Sudan, trying to talk about it, and then we get into the discussion for a minute. Just give me a second here. All right. Share screen. And after this, we will start the discussion. Thank you. This is from my radio a couple of days ago.
Hello and welcome to iRadio Pages. My name is Yar Jakteng. And there's a quote that goes, where there is a woman, there is magic. Marks International Women's Day. iRadio joins the world and the women of South Sudan in celebrating women's achievements, women in leadership, women that have gone through struggles, and every other significant woman alive. Joining us here from iRadio are two great ladies that are part of the women's celebration, part of women achievement. Our programming editor, Madam Rosemary Wilfred. And also we have Helen Samuel, a broadcast journalist at iRadio. They tell us more about this year's International Women's Day, what it entails, the theme and the hashtag that we shall be focusing on this International Women's Day, as we give you a series of discussion celebrating various women across South Sudan and across the world. Join us and celebrate with us the women of South Sudan.
Across every sphere, from health to economy, security to social protection, the impacts of COVID-19 are aggravated, especially for women and girls. This is simply by virtue of their sex. The global theme for International Women's Day 2021 is Women in Leadership Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. And the campaign slogan, Choose to Challenge, calls for women leaders to take deliberate and immediate steps to identify the social bias and inequalities against women in South Sudan, as well as other parts of the world, raise awareness against these bias, and take action for equality. A challenged world is an alert world, and from challenge comes change. So let's all choose to challenge. Join us on iRadio as we celebrate women's achievement in the country.
Happy International Women's Day to all women all over the globe. The International Women's Day, as we all know, is celebrated every year on the 8th of March. As South Sudan joins the rest of the world to remember or to mark the International Women's Day in 2021, iRadio, as a media organization, is also going to join in to bring up voices of the women from all walks of life. In fact, iRadio has been doing this from the time it was established back in 2011. And this year specifically, in 2021, iRadio is going to host most of the women in South Sudan, regardless of their status. They could be women holding constitutional posts. They could be women from the grassroots. According to the theme for this year, we are going to stand by that, women in leadership. We want to portray all our women in South Sudan, those who have been to be able in leadership. Happy Women's Day from iRadio.
Right, so you've heard from our great women of iRadio. But to follow up on this series of discussions about women and celebration of Women's Day, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio. You can also follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram.
Thank you. Alrighty, guys. I want to say thank you. Yeah, this is Ethical Justice with you again. It's been a while, like I said. Yeah, today's Women Day. I just wanted to just give my, uh, support and to acknowledge that yes, woman is important asset in the world, and for that reason, they deserve even more than just a day. They deserve every day to be respected and celebrated. And as we know, our homeland, unfortunately, does not show that kind of quality of respect to women, respect to their rights and dignity and their achievement. As we have seen today and continuously, how many years now since that war started in South Sudan, the tribal conflict that have been created by two unfit leaders, two tribal warlords who are unfit to even lead themselves or their tribes, unfortunately caused the misery of millions of our people there, including the displacement, the rape, which is going on up to this moment as we speak. This automatically shows that those guys have no respect to women. And for them to just reward those committing those atrocities by including them in the military forces and say, oh, they have to be combined together like what they did in the peace agreement, it just shows you how they disrespect our women to the point that when they abuse them, yet they will tell them to just follow up after all the crime they have committed. So it just shows you how they are and what this country is running about. And as we always speak, that our homeland has been ravaged in all sides. And to be honest, if any woman want to speak and word or encouragement to other women, I'll give them the link down here so they can just add. I'm not going to stay longer. I've been here 23 minutes. It's just documentaries. I was going to put another documentary, but unfortunately I don't want to do it now. Maybe later. But one thing I wanted to do here, I'll put the link just in case anyone want to join in. Just give me a minute. Even guys, you can come on too and give your word of encouragement to our women, especially they are the outspoken ones, as we know. They speak out about the pain that's going on, and they want to see change for our people and the young generation to come. So here's the link. I've posted it, and if anyone comes in, please go ahead. You're welcome. Just to voice an encouragement. That's all I'm asking. But at the moment, I have not much to say, but to say thank you for you guys. Our women is our backbone in all matters. And if there is a quote from one of, I think she's an American lady, if I'm not mistaken, she said, "A man does what he can, but a woman does what a man cannot." And it's true. Women give birth, women raise children, while men hunt to provide protection for the women. But if you look at South Sudan, are we the men showing that capability? Are we doing our best? Are we giving our women the much protection that they need? Instead, we see ourselves here fighting for power and politics that has nothing to do with the real condition that our women and children are facing. You see our women being marginalized, even in the political arena. You see our women even been given percentage as if they are begging for a percentage instead of put them equal on all status of these, if it was in work employment, if it's in work side, or if it's in political side, or if it's in anything, as long as she able to be capable to articulate things as men articulate. But I know there's even, I saw now women are more articulate than men when it comes to what they need and what is true and not true. But compared to our men, unfortunately, they are driven by greed. They're driven now, especially in that country. You see people wanting to be in power, and what they do is they have to claim power, by force, killing, raping, looting, and even doing whatever they can. And yet they said, and I don't know if this Kir have ever given acknowledgement to him, but I don't think he did, because if he did, he would not be doing what he's doing in this country. And as we know, as Equatorian, we speak for our women, and our women have been suffering for a long time. Now the worst thing is happening, that when I see the condition, and some people wanted to go and say let's unite with something that has no any respect to our women. Because if you look at the situation that this thing is going on right now, it's just heartbreaking, and the world are watching because they say the men, what are the men doing? Are they just sitting down there and saying they're fighting? But how long are you gonna fight and let your women be in this misery, on your children? Because there's young generation coming in. You have daughters, you have sons. Those people are coming to be the next generation that will take over. And if you don't do anything right, you will continue the war. They will inherit the same conflict and the same misery and the same failure. And then you will see only our women will be just good for producing children, but those children are just going to be another burden to themselves, because we don't even guide them the best way how to be leaders, a great leaders that will solve and protect, serve too, solve, serve, and protect what is right and what need to be protected. And we see our women today is very vulnerable with all these conditions. And around the world, other women over there, they're fighting now for equal rights. Like in Western countries, there's still some issues, conflict, where women needed their equal rights in employment works, and going to the other organizations, whatever it is. But it's still women able to achieve, because there is security, there is peace, and there is law, a real law that can govern people equally. But in South Sudan, there is nothing like that. We only have warlords and opportunists, like wolves and foxes, who want to be in power. They don't have no care for the life, for the women, for the children, none of them. See, they just wanted us to die, and our women to be just abused and discouraged. And that's why at the end, when our women go to a foreigner, let us not complain, because we don't even protect our women. Because now the foreigners, they look more favorable than us when it comes to the protecting of our women, and to give them the opportunity to be who they're supposed to be. And for us men, we have done, some of us are really genuinely want to do the best they can. But there is these foxes who do not allow such thing. And you see the wolves over there, they are looting and pillaging and doing everything in their will to make sure that insecurity in our homeland, insecurity within the land, that no one can ever even advance. So yes, we know there is women who achieved, regardless the hardship. Like earlier, this lady, we have seen a documentary, the American lady. She was a slave. She was a free slave. When she got out of slavery, she struggled. And she was orphaned. She had to take over all her her brothers, her siblings. And that's the same thing we see in South Sudan. Some girls who lost their parents because of these messed up conflict, and yet they're raising their siblings. They're sacrificing their life. They're doing a lot. And at the end, what happened is they do all these things, and the reward is never been given to them the right way. But what you see is that women, when they're determined and they care for what they see need to be cared for, they will not stop. So I would love, from the perspective of women, of our Equatorian women, anyone, to come in and give a word of encouragement to our sisters and brothers who are back home, especially our sisters right now, for this day that is saying Women's Day. Please, even if a few words, it doesn't matter. It'd be great, I put the StreamYard post there. Just go ahead, just log in, and then you can come easily, and you can give a point there. So if anyone have a word they want to say, just go ahead. Thank you. Welcome. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what to say here. Just a second, okay? Yes, guys. If you got anybody wanted to get to the link, just tell me. I'll send it to you. Please to give encouragement to our women. because it's good, important very much to show that we, especially the men, come on, those who are watching, anyone, just for a few minutes before I kind of close, because I'm not going to stay here longer. So if you got any word you want to say, just to encourage the women. Like, I know there's a lot of sisters there who are doing their best, achieved a lot of stuff regardless of the hardship. I mean, I know that some people have a different political views. It doesn't matter, because today's not about political views. It's just about the condition that our women is going through. Our women in general are being neglected. Other world are celebrating women achievement. But what are we celebrating in South Sudan for women achievement? Yes, there is some women who achieved, but is it really enough? Did we really give them that chance as South Sudanese, or as Equatorians? Because in the end, our women have always been put as a percentage, or as just a supporter, but not as an equal. And that's why you see these other politicians today, they're playing these roles of saying we will give like women 25%, 50, 30% or 15%. That is just ridiculous. If they want to give women, they have to understand that women is equal to us in all manner. Yes, we know women somehow in physicality there is differences. There's differences in physicality, but when it comes to an idea, or to intellect, or to the mindset, women can actually go head to head with men in all mindset, on all ideas, because in that manner you could see women actually able to achieve what men did before. Women have drove plane, like they flew plane to the air, and they have even went to war. Even recently now, women can go to war and fight. Women have been productive in society, if it's in business, even in politics. There's some countries in Europe now, women are governing the country. In Africa, it have been there, like Sierra Leone before, or if I'm not, Liberia or Sierra Leone, one of them, and then going on and on and on. So women has always been a part of man in history since the beginning of time, and yet sadly, in place like South Sudan, the conflict that is continuing killing and abusing our women have deprived women from their right. They have took away women dignity to the point that women are now seen as mothers who are waiting for their children. Women are now being abused even sexually. Women now in South Sudan, as you see, the regime that is, priding themselves as a government, when it's in reality they're not a legitimate government. They're killing and abusing, even exploiting the girls, the younger ones, the ones who are supposed to go to school and get their degree or somewhere so they can help their family. They begin to get them, they begin to abuse them, exploit them sexually, to the point that even if you want a job, even if you're a graduate, you want a job in South Sudan, and you are a woman, you'll be exploited to the point sexually. So you have to sleep with one of these big guys. Mostly are these corrupt so-called politicians, and then you see yourself, the woman will be sleeping with them so they can get a job, which is shameful. And yet they say publicly, when they wanted to make themselves look good, they say, oh yeah, we give women their right, we respect women. No, you don't, because if you do respect women, you would have condemned everything that this country is going through, because nothing over there that shows this country respect women. And don't forget the traditions too. There is some wrongs in the tradition somewhere. Getting girls in an age that is not appropriate to get them married. Now they're doing that. I know in the past there was a different culture, but we have to evolve our culture with the time, and we have to also make our culture be better than what it is. If there is negative in the culture, we need to learn how to take it out. So unfortunately, um, a lot of our people, like right now, you see these rich people, they want to marry 6, 10 women in his house. Those, especially with the politicians in South Sudan. I don't call them politicians, but the warlords in South Sudan. They are exploiting girls to the point, if he see her pretty, he will get her as a second or third or seventh wife, or the sixth wife, something like that. So it shows you what are we in as a culture, as a nation. We have a problem. Beside the political issues, we have a cultural issues too, that is based from the messes that some of these wrong foundation within our culture created, this hierarchical society, that no longer women are no longer seen as an equal, or seen as a very important asset in the society. Instead, they're now seen as something to gain, like a prize. You have to gain غنيمة بالعربي. غنيمة كده لازم يعني تاخده بنفسك وتكون فخور إنه oh this is I have this. No, women supposed to be given the equal opportunity as men, and we are in the 21st century. This is the moment where women supposed to be, in South Sudan, supposed to be something of a great importance, not someone who's now victimized by us and by our wicked leaders. If I don't call them leaders, my leaders, but I call them those wicked uh, warlord leaders who are building this society in where women just you're gonna marry them and you can add on them another woman and make children, and that's it. And then they want to talk about, oh, we give women respect, and then yet you see them when they want to employ a woman, they have to abuse her sexually. They have to tell her like, you sleep with me, I'll give you a job. This is shameful. This is show a dysfunctional nation, and we are a dysfunctional nation. When you see violence against women, you see even the women abuse, beating women, and those things. This is evil things, and that shows this society has no honor among themselves. And I wonder, those people who do that, those men who do such thing, they don't ask themselves that where they were, how did they come to this earth? It was through women. Because of women, we are here. And woman is a very important asset to the world and to our society. So what I say to those men, those who believe and respect in women, they need to continue encouraging, enlightening, and also empower them by support, by everything they can. And I look forward for the next time when I get a chance to come up here live, maybe tonight. I don't know when I get a chance. There's a lot of topic I want to talk about, but this specific uh, live that I created just to say thank you for all our women around the world, because without you guys, I know the world would not be what it is. I know there is still a lot of things to be done, but for us to start, we need to always understand that do to others like you do unto yourself, if like even the Bible have mentioned. So for us men, we have to respect our women, we have to honor them, and we have to see them not as a sexual object, but to see them as our equal. We know there is different in physicality, but there is no different when it comes to decisions, to ideas, to purpose. Women, they know what they're doing. Like I said, the quotation of one of the most famous lady, she said, a man does what he can, but a woman does what a man cannot. So let it be, you know, it sink deep to us why this word was given to us. And then, and for these backward society, or these backward people, or those who want to see women only as subjugated as a wife, not as someone who can bring potential, they are more extremist, and that's why they are frightened by women, how they can, when they achieve their objective of success. Like there was this girl, I forgot her name, she's from Afghanistan. It's like extremists have shown that they're frightened. What frightens them most is a girl with a book. And it's true. When a girl is educated, she's able to convince others, and she's able to kind of like even consult men to a new ideal. So it's like a man who is always trying to be aggressive and brute. A woman can become, an educated woman can be able to be the counsel to his dad, to that person, to change from his wrong ways. Because right now we need women to be in these political arenas that now all these greedy opportunist warlords wanted to be in, because none of them are fit. And I'll tell you, I don't have no faith in no leader in South Sudan, if it's in the regime right now, or if it's outside the regime, because mostly they have shown they still have that weak element in them, that they are not able to comprehend that in a society where we believe in democracy, you have to give everyone right, where women can show you how you are able to be a man with common sense, with a sense of humanity, regardless, But anyway, I can't go far. I think I put the link, but none of them are able to come in. I don't know what's the problem, but next time maybe. But yeah, just happy Women's Day, happy International Women's Day to all of you guys, our women and sisters and mothers and all women around the world. And we say thank you for your great, patience and your achievement, because, a lot of women have achieved a lot in this time, and we're proud of you, and continue. And the struggle continue until the end. And of course, for us men, we have to change our way, and we don't have to be intimidated, because there's nothing for us to be intimidated by women's success. Instead, we have to be proud that, hey, this is our partner. This is, she's able to achieve something that, equal to us. Because instead, I don't want anyone to be lesser than me. I want everyone to be equal in the same side. So thank you and have a blessed day. I think I end with my word here. Bye. Have a great day, guys.
AK-16, young for the Toyota, way another dude.
Megele Media Record, Esmos Touch.
Kalambeki wajana ya junubi, Beretanina biga tala fadaya. Keji biri jamitanya junubi, na skulu biga gerafikam. Kalambeki wajana ya junubi, Beretanina biga tala fadaya. Keji biri jamitanya junubi, na skulu biga gerafikam.
Mary Fidel mama dog back to the Dokujanga baba dog back to the Nandi Benyangi Julius Lokonga Madi Tabule Luka Nyombe Yimi the Tumede Abuba the Tumede Mama mi the Tumede Eat the Tumede Papa mi the Tumede I eat the Tumede Egasi the Tumede Yakwara the Tumede I like the Tumede Love time the Tumede Lodiko the Tumede Sukasu the Tumede I eat the Tumede Eat the Tumede Kapiwa the Tumede BBT the Tumede Tisoja the Tumede I eat the Tumede I eat the Tumede Karmanga yo Ikula woro ni woro Ikula bai ni bai Ikula woro ni woro Ikula mamandi kwela goro Kalambeki wajana ya junubi Beretanina biga tala fadaya Keji biri jamitanya junubi Na skulu biga gerafikam Kalambeki wajana ya junubi Beretanina biga tala fadaya Keji biri jamitanya junubi Na skulu biga gerafikam Igula doyo ne doyo Igula bae ne bae Igula mama ni gela kor Keji biri jamite Na skulu gerafikam Imalu ite nana junubin Me are the government ala de gelatam Me are the ruler ala di ala da fat Anagali government ita mabi ainu jurupta junubin Ita kan murta Anama murta Tapta junubin Anama murta Junubin ge moto je temese getala Junubin moto je kamara getala Ita kan murta Anama murta Tapta junubin be kogo je motoro gine tele falata Yakwana kalam degi waja anajua gelbi Keji biri jamite Keji bisalamite Kalam de bihilumite Beretanina bisalamite Yakwana kalam degi waja anajua gelbi Yang for the Toyota Kalam degi waja anaya junubin Belete bisalamite Naskulu biga jerefikam Itakan murta Anama murta Tumta junubin beko boja motoro ginenzele falata Umagi waja gel bata nazya junubin Kalam degi waja gel bata junubin Beretanina bisalamite Beretanina biri jeje tape diri demite Kalam de bihilumite Kelenina fegir foko ya junubin Kelenina fegir foko ya junubin Kalam de biwogimite Kalam degi waja anaya junubin Beretanina biga tala fadaya Keji biri jamitanya junubin Na skulu biga gerafikam Kalam degi waja anaya junubin Beretanina biga tala fadaya Keji biri jamitanya junubin Na skulu biga gerafikam Lunga silip diri data enga dinyo ini andi wawo Ikalureke Kanyi meri Ikalureke Bena iltuku Ikalureke Wawo Ikalureke Mama dukoleke Ikalureke Wawo Ikalureke Janjaru kuluyom Ikalureke Wawo Ikalureke Lakini tekiponi kinandi konyo Papu bedike sujetu pan piyamba Ngoji kaya sida nilisa nyekende Ngoji jakidaku Yasura ngoji gani Kulo ngoji gikem ni broda kidaku Anyandaku konyo ngo ina sida tu
Walai, nani yang? Ikula woro ni woro. Ikula bai ni bai. Ikula mama ni gela kor. Keji keji biri jamiten. Kalam leki wajana ya junubi. Beletani na biga tala fadaya. Keji keji biri jamiten ya junubi. Na skulu biga jere fikam. Kalam leki wajana ya junubi. Beletani na biga tala fadaya. Keji keji biri jamiten ya junubi. Na skulu biga jere fikam.
Alright, thank you guys. Have a great day. I might come back later with panelists. Most of the time that we come back, it might be like around 6 p.m. US time, Eastern time, or it might be 5, whatever. We can choose the time and just follow us at that time. If you're following up, just thank you, share it, and we'll talk later. And by the way, happy Women International Day for all women around the world. Stay blessed and continue achievement, and tomorrow things will look different. God bless you guys. Bye.